see that there is a candidate for lieutenant governor who does have a vision, and that is one of the reasons that I'm endorsing my signer for lieutenant governor. The other reason is that he has a unique way of presenting his messages online. And so I urge everyone to tell their friends and relatives and people who are still on the fence to check out these coffee breaks in which you can see what he means by his vision, the four issues that are his issues. So without further ado, I'm very, very honored to present to you the next Lieutenant Governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia.
Thanks, Ingrid. Your support means a lot. We have a lot of support here in Arlington and across Northern Virginia and across Virginia, but it is really gratifying to have people from my hometown who have been through elective office before supporting me and this campaign, so thank you very much. That means a lot. We are releasing some news today about this campaign, and I'm going to go through some of that, but I want to take you through my background and the campaign as well. I'm running for Lieutenant Governor to change an office that is too often a placeholder into a public advocate. An office that will actually shake up Richmond and get things done for people with specific plans and with an activist agenda that is progressive. And that's why I'm running for Lieutenant Governor. A little bit about me. I grew up here in Arlington. I went to public schools. My elementary school, I can actually say that my campaign office is a block from my elementary school, which is not something many people can say. And I have worked in the great fight of the Virginia Democratic Party all across Virginia for almost 15 years now. It began in 1995 when I was summoned to Richmond by the executive director of the state party to salvage a foundering Get Out the Vote training seminar, and I was 22 and I was right out of college, and that was when I first met Mark Warner, which began a friendship and a professional relationship that has gone all the way through my career. And I've been involved in this fight of the Virginia Democratic Party for all these years for one reason. I believe it's the party of social justice and economic fairness, and it has always been and it must continue to remain that party. And that belief is what's driving this campaign. I was later appointed by Governor Warner as his deputy counselor in Richmond, where I worked intimately with him on very serious matters, and I later went on to work in the national security field. That's what I've been doing the last couple of years. I was foreign policy advisor to John Edwards, and have been working in a think tank from Northern Virginia on national security matters. Last year, I was senior strategist on Tom Perriello's congressional campaign in the 5th Congressional District, and that victory and electing a great progressive who will do tremendous things for Virginia Democrats, and I would argue not just for Charlottesville or the 5th District or Virginia, but for the nation and for the world, with Virgil Good out of there, is one of the things that inspired me to make this run. Okay, I want to announce a couple things about this campaign right here. We are announcing today our finance totals for the first quarter. Now keep in mind this campaign has only been up and running for about 2 months. We raised about $250,000, and we have about $175,000 cash on hand. We have more online donors than any other candidate, over 600 donors online, which I think signifies great strength among both the grassroots and the netroots, and these are very impressive figures, which, if anybody remembers the Obama campaign, how it works, this is a floor from which we can build. A lot of these are small donors, and a lot of them are given online, which means that they're a movement. And it is very gratifying to have this much support. We're also announcing an advisory committee today, which has, I think, support from across the state that will surprise a lot of people. We have 3 congressional district chairs on this advisory committee. We have county and city chairs from across Virginia. For somebody who's going to run a very strong campaign in Arlington and Northern Virginia, we have the chairs of localities from Roanoke to Covington, from all over, from Danville to Richmond. And that's the strength of this campaign, is it is going to be statewide, and we do have strength among the people who make the Virginia Democratic Party tick. We stand on their shoulders, I believe. It's a thankless job to be a chair, and they do a lot of work for free, and the trajectory of the Virginia Democratic Party is their gift to us, and I'm very gratified to have a lot of support among their ranks for this campaign. We have over 20 county and city chairs on this campaign. Okay. Two things. In all these years of working for Democratic candidates, I have always wanted to work for and always believed that any candidate worth their salt must answer two questions well, which is why are you running and what do you want to do? Other than that, it is not worth our time. And I am running for one reason. I think that public service is a noble calling, and we do need the best people in elective office at this critical time in Virginia when the Commonwealth, I think, is at a crossroads. I'm going to read to you a card. This was given to me by my 9th grade English teacher, and I carry it in my wallet every day. And it is a variation on Wesley's rule. Do all the good you can for all the people you can, by all the legal means you can, in all the ethical ways you can, in all the places you can, at all the times you can, to all the people you can, as long as ever you can. This is the injunction I think that anybody, any candidate for office has to meet this test for people. And you have to want to do good. And I do think that we need people in elective office who can do the best that they can at a time when Virginia is at an incredible crossroads. We have things, at the same time as we've gotten a smoking ban in a tobacco state, we also have Dillon's Rule, which is holding us back from being as progressive as we possibly can. It's a leash on a state from becoming the Virginia we want to be. Issues like that are what I see as the crossroads that Virginia is at, and we need good people in elective office who can shake Richmond up and get Virginia on the path to the future. The second question, which is what do you want to do, that is this question about changing this office of lieutenant governor from a placeholder to a public advocate. This campaign is about 4 issues. It's about true economic growth and true economic investment. It's about achieving environmental leadership. It's about fulfilling the sacred contract we have with veterans and military families. And it's about strengthening our democracy at every turn that we possibly can. On this first one, jobs, and this is so critical. I was down in Danville recently, and we saw there was a sign at a gas station which said food stamps available here, and we saw business just shuttered everywhere. They just lost 600 jobs this last weekend in Danville, and this is in the Virginia that we are all part of. To date, I remain the last candidate to have gotten into this race and the first to introduce and the only to introduce a real jobs plan. The clock is ticking, folks, and it's been over 30 days since I introduced my jobs plan, which would create 50,000 new jobs in 7 critical areas, including green tech. It's right here. It's on paper. It's new jobs for a new Dominion. We still haven't seen anything from the other candidates, and I do think we need leadership on this critical issue. Unemployment just went to 7% in Virginia, over 7%. Finally, I am also releasing today a 5-point strategy to defeat Bill Bowling. This is a playbook. This is kind of our, if you're a lawyer, which I am, you got to have your theory of the case, and you got to have your closing argument. And this is our closing argument. We're going to have the resources to fight strong. We're going to have the people. But this is what I think Virginia primary voters ought to consider as they go on here. Okay, here's your 5. Number 1, lead on the number 1 issue for Virginia voters, which is jobs. Lead. Only candidate to produce a real jobs plan. And this is the number 1 issue for Virginia voters. Number 2, stay on the offense and know how to win. By serving as senior strategist to Tom Perriello and by helping design a campaign plan that did take out a bad Republican and did elevate a progressive in a district that was 2/3 rural, I do believe I have the experience in knowing how to win and knowing how to defeat Bill Bowling on his turf this fall. Number 3 is extend the Warner-Kane legacy. By having worked so closely with Governor Warner, by having been asked by Tim Kaine to serve as a surrogate on his campaign, I do think I can extend on that legacy for Virginia and for Virginia voters in the general election. Number 4, be strong on national security. I have worked very closely on national security matters. I have a lot of veterans involved in my campaign. I do think that this is the kind of issue that will help a Democrat compete in the general election this fall across Virginia. And number 5, build on Barack Obama's victory in Virginia. I served as an advisor to the presidential campaign. I was a member of the Veterans Policy Development Team. I was an advisor to the State Department Transition. I was a senior member of the Election Protection Program here in Virginia. And I do think that people who have put in their time with the Barack Obama campaign and helped it win in Virginia can bring that same kind of energy and momentum and drive and ideas to Virginia this fall. That's my 5-point playbook for beating Bill Bowling. It is why I think I would be the strongest nominee and why so many other people agree. And let's get it done. Thank you so much.